getting specifically to the path forward here, yeah, I support training that is, some people have called it immersion training, where cops are policing the communities that they are directly part of. So if you're a part of a white or Hispanic or Black community, you're known to the people. You train around those people before you're even officially an independent cop out there on your own or with your partner. That way, these people know you. You're not just some white guy or some Black guy. You're Joe the cop. You're John Smith from down the street. They know you, and you're not scared of the population based on what they look like. If you were to open your small business last week, you could be taken to jail. If you were to burn someone else's small business this week, you'd get a free pass. And this individual, this woman was just telling us that her store was hit hard. Do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame. Our beautiful city just vandalized is what I would say, the word that I would use. And I'm a small business owner, just like Sergio and us here. First of the pandemic, and you know what I mean? That's
right, so they got hit first hard with being forcibly shut down, right?
Yeah,
with COVID, losing money, and now they're losing this. And this is, because of corrupt people that this happened, but now out of that anger, people are targeting their own communities. I think that's really wrong.
And that's the thing. We're just trying to work hard and,
She didn't do, she had nothing to do with George Floyd. She probably agrees that he should not have been hurt.
That's right.
Like he was.
He shouldn't have, but that's no way to target all of us. We're innocent, and we're just trying to do our job. Yeah, so I think this is a great message of unity in the community, though. People trying to clean up together and standing, though, in lockstep against corruption, but saying this is not the way. Hurting people like her and these people around here, this isn't the way forward.
Career politicians all want to pretend to be like us, the working class. But the American population is starting to see through the political game in a bipartisan manner. The Second Amendment is not a suggestion. It is not a gift from a gracious government. It's a right. The idea of come and take it has been called mindless violence and hateful. It's neither of those things. Come and take it reflects the exact message of our nation's Constitution. Come and take it is what we said to the British in the 1700s. It's what we said at the Battle of the Bulge. It's what we said about democracy in the Cold War. We have these rights. We are a free people. If you want to change that freedom, come and take it. Because our freedoms do not end where fear begins.
You've got a big difference between FDR and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? One is radically left and one is not so radically left, especially today. Almost every day, I would talk to a Democrat who said a story something like, you know what, I'm a lifelong Democrat. My dad was a Democrat. I'm a union guy. And then they'd kind of lean in and their voice would get low and they'd be like, but I'm voting for Trump because, he's done some great things. And that's the type of Democrat that makes up Pittsburgh. There's a lot of people here who they're not sold out to the radical left. And the last thing I'll say here is that I think we need to make a stark line of distinction between Democrat and leftist. So there are Democrats who are very good, honest, hardworking people. They were raised Democrat, their parents were Democrat, whatever the reason may be, but they are not radical leftists. Leftists are the people who want to silence the opposition. Leftists are the people who want to bring socialism and communism to American shores. So we need to separate the Democrats from the radical leftists, and the Democrats we can talk to all day, especially Pittsburgh Democrats. We welcome them with open arms, and we look forward to working with them here. The other thing I'd say is technologically relevant knowledge. Anyone who's ever watched the congressional hearing, for instance, of Mark Zuckerberg in Congress, Zuckerberg, who everyone probably knows, founded Facebook, he's being asked these questions by congressional reps who know nothing about the policy that they're trying to pass. They know nothing about the social media world, which really now drives today's information, today's news, a lot of relevant things that we need to have policy concerning, but that these reps are not knowledgeable about.
I looked at the right side of the aisle and I said, where are the young leaders in the right side of the aisle conservative movements? The left has Greta Thunberg, who's 17 years old, I believe, perhaps recently turned 18. We've got extremely young leaders influencing the world because the world is now looking for relevant leadership who have grown up in this new reality that we live in, new technology, new societal expectations. We've seen society change globally just in the last couple months due to COVID-19. We need people who understand what people go through today as citizenry, and that comes to young leaders.
We need to first look at America's deep set history of valuing young professional leadership. We have people like Alexander Hamilton, Rutledge, Monroe, Declaration signers who entered into public office, such as advisors to George Washington, local leaders in their states, at ages much younger than myself. We have historically valued people who come up from the medical field, the law field, the military field, and after validating themselves as citizen leaders, they then move into politics based on necessity, as opposed to what we see with people like Doyle, who have gotten comfortable in their elitist ivory towers. They get into office, like you said, 1995, more than 2 decades ago. And then because of the lack of something like term limits, which my candidacy directly supports, we need term limits, they are left in office. And, you know, my opponent, Mike Doyle, he's got about the passion and presence of a melted ice cream cone.